Well, one thing I think you do is you put yourself in spaces, I think, where there are different groups of people from different ethnic postures. And that, again, that's going to look differently in different contexts. But one of the things I recently did to be around more diversity, I mean, my community is very diverse for Kentucky, but I wanted to be around even more diversity. I joined the local gym right in my community. And I go over there and I exercise, and I am overwhelmed with joy to see how much diversity that's there. I mean, ethnic diversity, yes, but even within the same ethnic group, you have diversity. So you have middle class, lower class, you have different classes, you have different educational backgrounds, you have white, you have Anglo, you have or Asian, you have all sorts of ethnic groups. And so I'm in that space now at LA Fitness that puts me around people that don't look like me, or who do look like me, but they're certainly not a PhD at Southern Seminary. And then you try to build community with those folks. You want to guard. What you don't want to do is you don't want to do stupid things. You don't want to say stupid things. Like I recently heard, I'm hesitant to say this, but I think this might be helpful. I recently heard someone say, if you don't, a white person tell a predominantly white congregation, if you don't normally go to places where there are minorities, you should go to ethnic restaurants where they traffic. That's a racist statement, right? So that's stupid. You don't want to say that. But it is true that you do want to, the principle is true. You want to put yourself in places where different kinds of folks will go. And then you want to take the posture of learner. I think too often, majority, not all, but some majority folk can want to go help these poor people, and I don't mean economically poor, but these poor minorities, and help them see the light. You know, I recently had this conversation. Someone said, well, what can I do as a white person to help the cause of racial reconciliation? To which I responded by saying, well, you want to get rid of the white saviorism mentality and not view yourself as the savior who's going in to help these poor people, but rather take the posture of the learner. Put yourself in spaces where there are people from different ethnic groups, but then also learn that person's narrative. Because quite often I think that one reason why certain people in the majority group reject white privilege or reject the idea of or affirm that there's color blindness is because their narrative is not the same as the counter narrative of the marginalized group. So what's normal for the majority group person, that person might think it's normal for everybody else. So then one way we move ourselves out of that posture would be get around people who are different and then listen to their narratives. Listen to their stories of injustice. Listen to their stories about how they've experienced racism. Listen to their narrative and where they've come from. And seek to learn from each other in that regard. I think those are a couple of things you can do. And one specific example, like in my small group, I intentionally chose people who were multi-ethnic to be in my small group, to serve as a model for our church of what this looks like before we have an official small group ministry that the church is behind. So in my small group, we have me, my wife's Latino, we have a white brother who's engaged to an Indian sister. They're going to be married soon. We have my multiracial cousin and his black girlfriend. We have a brother from Pakistan in my small group. He's going to get married to another Pakistani, so he'll be in the group. And so it's majority, minority, and we have, at the moment, one white person, and the rest of the group is minority, but it's diverse minority groups. And then we're going to pick up a couple more white brothers and sisters. And so we're trying to model what this looks like. So we're putting ourselves in spaces with different people, and we're doing life with each other. And I think that is, when you have a meal with somebody, you hear their narrative, that gets inside of your soul, and you realize this person is someone that doesn't share your narrative, but it doesn't make his narrative less real or true.